Welcome back to another exciting moment with Coach K in his Math Corner. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, first video of the year. Excuse me. A little froggy in the throat today, I'm sorry. Hey, today, kids, we're going to be talking about solving one-step equations using addition and subtraction. Your objective will be, I as a math student will be able to solve one-step equations using adding and subtracting. Hey, you know what? Of all the things we've talked about so far, this might be one of those things and is one of those things that will help you down the road. Not only now, but when we get to I-step, because I know I-step will give us equations and we need to know how to do these, all right? So you really need to focus on it and get to it. Plus, this is the kind of thing that you're going to hear time and time again in the next couple years in math about equations, all right? So an equation is a math sentence that does contain an equal sign, okay? It has an equal sign, ladies and gentlemen. Wrong thing here, equal sign, okay? If it doesn't have an equal sign, it's not an equation. The goal of solving an equation is to find the variable, the value of the variable, sorry. And we do this by isolating the variable on one side of the equation using the inverse operation. Inverse operations undo each other. The inverse of addition is subtraction. The inverse of subtraction is addition. The inverse of multiplication is division. Come on, line, there you go. And the inverse of division is multiplication. Excuse me. So I'm going to teach you a method that we've used in the past couple of years. It's called DISC. Now, I didn't put anything in here about DISC, but I am going to show you D-I-S-C. And what that means is this, that the very first thing you're going to do is draw a line straight down. Okay? You got to do that every single time. You're balancing and separating both sides of an equation, okay, from each other. Now remember, we want to isolate the variable, which is right there. Come on. Are you right there? There you go. And we want to do the inverse. So the inverse of adding is subtracting. So we're going to subtract 7 from both sides. Okay? What this creates on this side right here is a 0. A positive, negative 7. Positive 7, negative 7, that creates a 0. So now we got x on one side equals 18 minus 7 is 11. That is our answer. But you need to, okay, so we draw the line, do the inverse, we solve it. Now this C part means we got to check it. Let's find out if our answer really truly works. So you're going to substitute it. So you're going to say x is 11, so 11 added to 17. Does that equal 18? Yes, it does. Check. Now you got to do that every time. You don't want to eliminate the checking part because you might make a mistake and find out later, hey, I was really wrong. Okay, hey ladies and gentlemen, I hope you slept well last night. I didn't, but then that's okay. Here we go. Next one, example 2. Well, again, we want to do that DISC method. All right, DISC. And we want to isolate the variable by itself, so we're going to draw a line straight down again. Got to do that every time. You're going to hear it from here until you're at least a freshman in high school. All right? And we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to do the inverse, not the opposite, the inverse. The inverse of subtracting is adding, so we're going to take negative, or we're going to add 13 to both sides. This creates a 0 pair. B equals, let's see, we're adding, right? So that becomes 37. So B is 37. Let's check. We drew the line, we did the inverse, we solved it. Now we got to check it. Does 37 minus 13 equal 24? It does. Boom, got it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Next example. All right, we're going to do DISC again. Oh, Mr. Coleman, you do that every single time. Why you do that to yourself? I don't know. I keep forgetting to use my pencil. Remember, your objective is you'll be able to solve a one-step equation using adding and subtracting. And the reason why they call this a one-step equation is because you're only doing one step. You're only doing one operation, okay? So here we go again. We're going to use that DISC method again. We're going to draw a line straight down the middle. Inverse of adding is subtracting, so we're going to subtract 14 from both sides. You got to do it to both sides. Whatever you do to one, you do to the other. Just like you're trying to balance it, okay? All right, and this creates a zero pair. We got m by itself. 29 minus 14 is 15. That's my answer. Let's see if it works. 15 added to 14 equals 29. Now, some of you might think, well, I'm just writing it over here just to say I did it. You know what? If I make a mistake and I write down an answer that does not make sense, where both sides don't equal the same value, then you know what? I didn't take my time to be very careful, did I? No, I didn't. So here we go again. We're going to do disk again. Oh, Mr. Coleman, you did the same thing again, didn't you? You get so excited about talking, you just forget to use your pencil. All right, kids, here we go. So we're going to draw a line straight down the middle. We're going to do the opposite. I'm sorry, we're going to do the inverse. The inverse of adding 3/8 is subtracting 3/8, so we want to do that to both sides. This creates a zero pair. We got x on its side by itself. We have to make this over here. We have to make that the same kind of. We have to have a common denominator, which is 8. 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. We have 6 and 4/8 minus 3/8 equals 6 and 1/8. Well, let's find out, does that work? That's our answer. Let's go back and try. We have 6 and 1/8 added to 3/8. 1/8 and 3/8 is 4/8. 6 and 4/8. Does that equal 6 1/2? It does. 6 1/2. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that checks. There we go. I hope I'm not going too slow, but on a morning that happens sometimes. All right, example number 5. Here we go. Draw that line straight down. We're going to do the inverse of subtracting, which is adding. We're going to add 8 1/2 to both sides. Come on, there you go. And we want to put 8 1/2 on this side, and I apologize for my sloppy handwriting. Sometimes that just happens for me. Alrighty, so this creates a 0, and we got m equals, we isolated that m on its side by itself, and this answer is, now you got to be careful because of the way I wrote it there, so I'm going to rewrite it over here so I can get a better, so I can show you a little bit better what I'm doing. We got 0 there, so 7 and 8, or 7 and 5 is 12. We carry the 1. 8 plus 1 plus 1 is 10. Carry the 1, that's 5. Drop the decimal point, and the answer is 50 and 25 hundredths. Ladies and gentlemen, we got it. Does that make sense? Well, let's see. 50 and 25 hundredths minus 8 and 5 tenths. Well, we may have to take time to do that. Let's see. Got to regroup and borrow. Decimal point. That's 9. That's 1. That's 4. Yep, we got it. It works. Check. Got it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to move a little quicker. I'm picking up the pace, I think. Okay, here we go. Draw that line again. The inverse of subtracting is adding, so we're going to add 258 to both sides. Okay. Don't forget to put that symbol of operation. You know, sometimes we just put numbers there and we forget what we're doing. Got to be careful. 3 plus 8 is 11. Carry the 1. 5 plus 1 plus 1 is 7. 5 plus 2 is 7. This creates 0. N equals 771. Let's see if that works. Does 771 minus 258 get us back to 513? Well, we got to make sure. Don't want to make a mistake. It sure does. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Check. Got it. All right, here we go. Trying to pick the pace up. Come on, let's go. I'm already at 9 minutes. All right, here's your independent task, kids. Now, there are 3 different, there are 6 problems. There are 3 different screen or slides, so make sure you get to them. I'm going to come right back and show you, so get them done. Hurry it up. Let's go. Come on, move. And you got to show it exactly as I showed it. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to move a little quicker here. We're going to draw this line. We're not going to draw a line until you get the pencil, Mr. Kaufman. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. So we're going to go again, kids. Here we go. So we got it. We're going to draw a line straight down the middle. do the inverse of subtracting 4. We're going to add 4 to both sides. Does that creates 0. And we got D equals 9 plus 4 is 13. That's our answer. Does 13 minus 4 equal 9? Come on, equal sign. Yes, it does. All right, kids, here we go. We're going to subtract now because we're adding, so we want to do the inverse. The inverse of adding is subtracting, so we're going to subtract from both sides, okay? Now remember, every time we do this, we're trying to balance the equation, all right? 15 minus 6 is 9. That's my answer for the variable. Let's take the variable's value, 9, and put it back in for 6. Does that equal 15? Well, I know 9 plus 6 is 15, so yes, it does. Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. Third one. All right, don't forget your pen. Got it. Here we go. Draw that line down the middle. Inverse of subtracting is adding, so we're going to add 7 to both sides here, kids. That makes 0. All right, that makes it 0. 0. Yeah, Z equals 9 plus 7 is 16. So we got 16, right? All right, good. So does that make sense? Does 16 minus 7 equal 9? It does. It does. Check. Got it. All right, here's the fourth one, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do the inverse of adding, which is subtracting. We're going to subtract both sides by 3. All right. This creates 0. We got W equals 16 minus 3 is 13. Got it. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Whoop, sorry about that. Here we go. And the next one. Bam. Do the inverse of subtracting, which is adding. Come on. Which is adding. And we want to add to both sides, right? So we got K equals 28. Does 28 minus 9 equal 19? It does. Here's the next one. We're going to, now this is a little different. This is a little stranger. Okay? Now you notice that the variable comes after the number. Well, you can't subtract y from both sides in this case. So what we're going to do is we're going to just switch these two around, okay? Because you can do that when you're adding. Now when you're subtracting, you can't do that. All right, well, no, you really shouldn't do that. But this is, right here, a positive 8. So it would be like saying adding 8. So you could switch it around like this. All right? And since we're adding 8, we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. Here we go. That creates that. Y equals 21 minus 8 is 13. Does 13 added to 8 equal 21? Yes, it does. Bam, got it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you have an exit ticket to do. You need to do it exactly as I showed it. If you do not show it exactly as I showed it, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to give you any credit. You hear me? You do it exactly as I showed you. That is so important that you just don't put an answer, because you'll say, well, I can do it mentally. You know what? You may be able to do it mentally. But you got to trust me on this, because some of these will not be able to be done mentally as you get into higher levels of math, okay? So do it right, please. No excuses. Thank you. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. It's an awesome day.